Welcome to the Courage to Be podcast. I am your host, Tanya Vasallo.
Sometimes the body gives us messages that the mind just refuses to hear. And for me, that message came when I was walking down our narrow spiral staircase. It's a very narrow spiral staircase, and the widest section is the width of my foot. And I was about 4 steps before reaching the bottom, which the bottom is all stone. And my, the pant leg got caught with my foot. And I knew it was like slow motion. I knew I was going to fall down, and I tried to save my head because there's no railing, so I couldn't hold on to anything. And I landed on my knees, then on my palms of my hand, and on my head, on the left side. I yelled out this strong, ah! And Ben and Isla came running to try and save me. And I just lied on the ground for a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, to see if I could move. The good thing was that I did not break anything. And it was quick. It was shocking. It definitely stopped me in my tracks. And I lied there for a little bit. I was very grateful that nothing got broken. I'm still a little bit sprained. It's been a couple weeks now. I believe I wrote a Substack article about it. So the first thing I thought was, okay, universe, what are you trying to tell me this time? Obviously not right when I fell, right? We take these things into consideration a little bit afterwards. And I do believe that our bodies speak to us, and sometimes softly, sometimes loud, sometimes you get that whisper, then you get the tap on the shoulder, and then you get the 4x4 like I did. And I wasn't really rushing physically, but I think mentally I still was rushing and moving fast. My mind was ahead of things. They had already started a movie, and maybe I was rushing to sit down and spend time with the family to watch the movie. And I think that the message for me from the universe is that it's a pause. Take a pause, take a stop. You keep trying to catch up with everything else and all the things that we could do here in Bali. There's a little bit maybe of FOMO too. There's so many other families, that they have green school for parents too. There's so many different classes and workshops and things that you can do. And so I compare myself sometimes with other parents, and I'm like, oh my God, they're already ahead, and they're doing that activity, and they're doing this other activity, and they're doing, they're already riding their mopeds, and they're, so there's this FOMO aspect of it. And I forget that we all have our own pace, and that I need to pause. And even though that they're this season of their life, I'm in a different season of my life. And maybe I'll do a whole other podcast on that. But the message was loud and clear from the universe. It's just like, take it easy, so now my palm is finally feeling a little bit better, but I am still a little bit out of alignment with my whole left side. And this podcast is not about that. It's about the message that we get right from the universe. And it's no coincidence that one of my late mentors that I studied under was Louise Hay. And she has a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And in that book, there's a little dictionary of emotional ailments and how she attributes these emotional feelings that are happening for us with physical diseases, conditions, and different things, right? And Louise Hay didn't just make this up. This was after studying thousands of clients and patients that she had, that if, that their throat kept hurting, then maybe that's something that you can't speak your voice. So interesting enough, after this fall, this past week, I started feeling an itch in my throat. And I haven't been sick, like with a cold, a flu, anything, knock on wood, for years. It's been years. I never even got COVID during COVID. So I'll knock on wood on that one again. And when I told Ben, I'm like, oh yeah, my throat's a little bit itchy. He's like, no, you're not getting sick, because Isla had just gotten over a cold. It'd been several days that she hadn't had it. And I'm like, no, I'm feeling a little bit of an itch. And he's like, that's impossible. You never get sick. But lo and behold, by the next day, the throat turned into like a little bit of body ache, and the head, like I had a little bit of, it wasn't bad, it wasn't severe, but it was a cold. And so that's where, again, I think the universe, like I think ready to get going and moving and doing more things. And the universe is like, no, not yet. You need to slow down. You need to, rest for a little bit. And with the throat, it's usually that you're not getting to speak your voice. I still haven't dug deeper into that part, but if you go into Louise Hay's little dictionary of ailments, but yes, this is a reminder for all of us, that we need to listen to when our body's whispering to us, because if we don't, it'll start shouting at us. And that's what happened here. It started with a fall, then it turned into a cold, and it's my body's way of saying, slow down, Tanya, listen, rest. And the courage this week hasn't been about doing more. It's been about surrendering to the stillness and trusting that even rest can be productive, right? For those of us that are in production and efficiency and doing instead of being, I'm sure you'll resonate a lot with this. So think about for yourself, maybe your body's been whispering to you too, through tension, fatigue, or a lingering cold like myself, or just something that keeps brushing off. What if instead of pushing through, you do pause and you listen and ask your body, what is it trying to tell you? And especially if accidents happen, that's the 4x4. That's no longer a whisper. So think about it for yourself. If you're feeling off in any way with your body, what's going on? And maybe journal or ask your body, what's the message? What's it trying to tell you? And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with other people. This is how we get the message out. I would love to share and have more people listening. If you think it resonated, or if you think there's someone in your life that might get something good out of this episode, please share with them. And until our next episode, sending you much love and courage.
If you loved today's episode, it would mean so much if you rate and review The Courage to Be on Apple Podcast. Not only does it help the show to grow, but it also gets you in the running for something amazing. Every month, I draw one lucky winner to receive a complimentary 7-night, 8-day vacation. You'll get to pick from over 3,000 beautiful resorts worldwide. You just cover the taxes and fees like you would with a travel rewards. Airfare is not included. And if you want to double your chances, along with your Apple Podcast review, leave a couple of comments on YouTube. That counts as a second entry. Just send your screenshots to help.thecouragetobe@gmail.com, and you'll find the email in the show notes too. It only takes a moment, and who knows, your next adventure might be closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on our next episode of the Courage to Be podcast.